Good morning, y'all. It is currently 11:09, April 26th, 2026, and I would like to tell you the story of the dream that I had this morning. I went to bed. I was kind of lazy yesterday. I spent most of the day on the couch. I should have been at least shiny hunting or working on my shiny hunting videos, but I didn't really feel like it yesterday. So I spent most of the day laying on the couch watching YouTube videos, and I was just waiting for it to be bedtime, pretty much. And it was around 1:30, 2 o'clock-ish by the time that I finally turned the fan on and actually laid down to go to sleep. I woke up a few different times this morning. I remember I woke up around 6 something, I think. It might have been 7. And then I went back to sleep. And then I woke up again. It was around 9. It was I remember it was 9 o'clock when I looked at the clock when I went back to sleep. I woke up, I woke up, took a piss, went to take a piss, and then I went to drink some Dr. Thunder. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. Not a sponsor. And then I went, laid back down on the couch, and I was like, fuck, man, it's almost time for me to, actually stay awake. I was worried that I was going to break my streak and I wasn't going to remember a dream today. So I looked at the clock. It was around 9 o'clock. I went back to sleep, and I fell asleep into this dream. Now, this is, this. You might want to get a snack. This one was actually a really good dream, and it's, over 2 pages long in my journal. So let's just get into it. The first thing that I remember is I am at school. So this is another school dream. And this might be a false memory. We'll see why it's a false memory a little bit later. But I am in a classroom. I don't remember much from this classroom. I just remember getting a textbook. And then I go to the next classroom. And something to paint a picture in your mind, it's dark in this whole dream so far until the end, when I'll tell you specifically when it's not so dark. It's it's nighttime. There's no light coming in from the windows. It's all just lights from the light fixtures. You know what I mean? That's something that I've noticed about my dreams. I don't know if this is unique to me, but there is usually very little sunlight in my dreams. Things are usually pretty dark in my dreams for some reason. As I was saying, I make it to the next classroom, and I sit down, and the teacher gives me a textbook, and I believe that I am late to this class because we're right in the middle of a lesson, and he's reading me, he's giving the lesson, and I think my older brother is there. I vaguely remember seeing my older brother there. And so he gives me this textbook. It's a history book. The books are about that thick. They're not very thick. They are hardback covers. And I don't know how I know what page to go to follow along with what everybody's saying, because I don't remember them telling me a specific page number. But I open my book, and then he tells us to go to the next chapter, because he's giving us, an example of something. We're not actually learning from this chapter yet, but he's telling us something, and he wants to give us an example. So he tells us to skip to the next chapter. So I'm flipping through this book, and I just remember thinking, wow, this might be, my favorite textbook that I've ever seen. I wish I could actually paint you a picture of what this book looks like, because it was so well designed. It had really good illustrations in it. The prose of how they were telling these history stories in the paragraphs was so good. And just the design of the book overall, it wasn't just plain white with framed pictures for the pictures with just blocks of text. It was colored, designed backgrounds, and hand-drawn illustrations all throughout this book. So I was just like flipping through this book, reading through the history lessons, and I was just amazed at how cool the illustrations and the designs in the book were. And the next thing I remember, class ends, and so I need to put this book in my stack. If you've been following my channel, you might remember from some of my past school dreams. When I was in middle school and high school, I never used my locker in like throughout the day. I would stack my school shit in a very specific way. Like I would stack my binders up at the bottom, and then I would put the textbooks on top of the binder, and then I would put my folders, whatever folders I had, on top of the textbooks, and then I had like my planner and then my pencil pouch. It was like this big stack of shit. I called it my tower. Everybody called it my tower because I just walked around from class to class with all my shit. So I put my new textbook on top of the textbook that I got from my last class. So that might be where my false memory from the last class was, because I remember getting that textbook. Like in that moment, I remember getting that textbook, but I don't remember the class. So I think that might have been a false memory. And then I put my folders on top of that textbook, and then I put my pencil pouch on top. And as I'm like picking up all my shit, leaving the classroom, I'm just thinking about how annoyed I am to be at school right now, carrying all this shit. So I think to myself, it's the last year. It's the last year. So like, I guess in the context of this dream, it's senior year of school. And I'm just thinking to myself, it's the last year. Let's get through it. And then once I leave the classroom, that's when it suddenly occurs to me, I don't know where to go next. I don't know where my next class is. And that's when it hits me. I'm like, oh, this might be a dream. So I plug my nose and I breathe through it, and it actually works. And I'm just instantly like, oh, here we go. We're a dream. So I just drop all my shit. I'm lucid at this point. And at the point that I realize that I'm in a dream and I become lucid, I notice that there is nobody in the hallway that I'm in right now. Like it's a school hallway. There's lockers and doorways to like classrooms and shit. There's nobody there. The lights are dim. It feels like it's after hours. And I don't know why. I just have a feeling that we're in an upstairs floor. So I see a doorway, and it leads to the outside. I've dropped all my shit at this point. I'm not aware of what I'm wearing. And I don't like go through my senses. Like I know I've been saying that when I become lucid, I want to go through my senses and like, I don't know if stabilize the dream is the right way to put it, but I don't like, I don't pay attention to my senses. I'm not aware of what I'm wearing, but I go out this doorway and it leads to a city street. And like I said, it's still dark. It's nighttime and it's just lit up with street lights. It's completely empty, aside from one person, which I'll explain here in a minute. There's no cars. There's no cars parked. There's nobody. It's just dark, nighttime with street lights. So I start walking down this city street, and I see one guy. He's underneath a street light. And then when I see a dream character that reminds me, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to try to talk to dream characters more often. So I just yell something over to him. I don't remember what I yelled exactly. Hold on, I lost my spot. Yeah, I don't remember what I yelled exactly. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the doorway leading to outside, it was a glass door. So when I was inside, I could like see the outside through the glass door, and then I walked out it, and then it was a city street. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, I see a guy under one of the street lights. I shout out to him. I don't remember what I said or if he responded. The next thing that I remember is I walk into a building, and I think it's like a hotel lobby. It's either a hotel or like a casino. but I'm pretty sure that it's a hotel. It's like pretty fancy looking. And I immediately run into Danny Trejo. You know Danny Trejo, the actor. And I think he has like this suit on, and it's obvious that he works in this building. And he starts leading me through the building, and we have a really nice conversation. I forgot everything that we said to each other. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what our conversation was. I just remember it was a really nice conversation. And he tells me that he'll show me where the swimming pools are. And I tell him, all right, let's go for a swim. And he's like, nah, I can't do that. I'm not allowed. And I'm like, come on, you can swim. So he leads me towards the bar. And I'm at the bar. There's a couple people sitting at the bar. And I remember seeing like a weird looking dude. I think he was sitting at a table. This might have been on the way to the bar, actually. He was sitting at a table, and he looked weird, and he was doing something weird. I don't remember specifically what was weird about it, but I just remember, like gesturing towards him and saying something to him. I can't remember what I said. I can't remember if he responded. Pretty much like the homeless guy that outside. So we make it to the bar. There's a couple people sitting at the bar, and I noticed that the woman behind the bar, the bartender, I noticed that it's Bhad Bhabie. You know Bhad Bhabie from fucking Dr. Phil? Catch me outside, how about that? Bhad Bhabie is the bartender at this bar. So I look at Danny Trejo and I'm like, what's Bhad Bhabie doing here? And then I notice to her left is another woman, and she is also Bhad Bhabie. I'm like, what the fuck? There's two Bhad Bhabies here? I didn't know you had a twin. So I just remember thinking that was funny. And I didn't really talk to them. They were wearing like hotel uniforms. They were wearing, it was gray. No, it was dark gray, like slate, like almost black, but not quite black. And yeah, I don't remember if I actually said anything to them. I have a brief interaction at the bar, and then I decide to go to the pool. So as I'm like walking past the bar, I ask one of the guys sitting at the bar, I'm like, you know where the pool is? And he points me to the right. He points me to the right of the bar, and there's like this big open doorway that leads into a hallway. And he says it's down that hall. You just have to believe that it's there. I think what he said specifically was that if you intend for it to be there, it will be. Something like that. He either used the word believe or intend. I can't remember which. So, I go to the hallway, and it is, like, all the lights are off at the end of the hallway. Like, it just leads into darkness. I can't actually see the end of the hallway. It's just leading into darkness. And I open one of the doors on the right, and then when I open the door, it leads into this big-ass room, and I'm pretty certain that it was a room, but it might have had, like, a glass ceiling, because this room is lit up like it's daytime. Like, it looks like there's natural sunlight coming in from the ceiling. There might have been skylights. It might have been a glass roof. I can't remember for sure. It almost reminds me of Kalahari, if you've been to Kalahari, where it's like a big indoor swimming area, and it's enclosed, but there's still natural sunlight that comes in from the ceiling. That's what it reminds me of. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not paying attention to what I'm wearing. There are people around. It's not empty. So I just jumped straight into the pool, and I'm amazed at, like, I remember thinking specifically about how amazing it felt to actually feel the water when I did like a cannonball into this pool. Now, this part is kind of hard to describe, but here's where shit starts getting kind of fuzzy. I'm under the water, but for some reason, even though I'm lucid and I know that I'm dreaming, I can't breathe the water. Or maybe I can, but I just don't try. Like, I'm not aware. I don't think about the fact that I should be able to breathe. That thought doesn't cross my mind. It's like instinct. I go on my instinct, to have my eyes closed and to not breathe the water. And I think it's too deep for me to stand in it. So the thought does cross my mind. I'm like, shit, I should be able to stand in this water. It shouldn't be this deep. So once I think about it, then that's when it's not so deep and I actually stand up and my head is above the water. But things are still fuzzy at this point. And I try to walk to the edge of the water. But since I'm in the water, I'm walking like slowly and I just barely don't make it to the edge of the pool. And then that's when everything goes dark. And then that's when I realize, oh shit is dark. So I try to open my eyes and I'm wearing my sleep mask. So when I open my eyes, shit is still dark and I'm like, fuck, I'm awake. So I turn up my sleep mask and I see the ceiling and I'm like, okay, I gotta delve into this dream. So I lay there for a minute or so, delving into this dream, just laying in bed. And I remember it pretty clearly. So I immediately sit up in bed and I go to reach to grab something off of my nightstand that is at the head of my bed, because like I'm in a hurry. I'm like, I was kind of pissed off that I woke up. Actually, I was excited to write this dream down because this was such a good lucid dream. I was really excited in the moment, so I was in a hurry to grab my dream journal. So I reach over and I grab like a flip phone and I'm like, fuck, I don't want this. So I open it and I'm like in such a hurry that I'm like mumbling to myself and I'm like speaking under my breath. So I open the flip phone and it must have been recording because it starts playing back my voice to me, like mumbling, like what I was just saying. So I close it, I throw it back on the stand, and then I don't remember if I actually grabbed my real phone or my dream journal or not, but that's around the time that I actually woke up. In the pool, that was a false awakening. So, if I would have done a fucking reality check when I woke up, I would have realized that it was a false awakening. So I wake up for real on the couch, and I'm just like bumfuzzled that I just woke up after a false awakening. I'm like, oh shit, that was a fucking false awakening, damn it. And then it was just gone. My entire dream was gone for a moment. And I was like, oh shit, I need to remember my dream because I did my delving in the false awakening. And I remembered it all so clearly. And then when I woke up confused, it caught me off guard. So I didn't even think about delving for a few seconds. And I'm like, oh shit, that was such a good dream. I was so mad. Like I was starting to panic. I could feel my heartbeat. My heartbeat started picking up. So I'm just laying there on the couch with my sleep mask on. And I'm laying there and I'm starting to panic a little bit. I could feel my heartbeat going faster. And then I remembered how I became lucid. I remembered being in the class, in the school hallway. And then I remember doing the reality check and dropping my books. And then it all came back after there. I could use that moment to like delve deeper into the dream with the looking through the textbook and all that. And then once I became lucid, walking through the city street and going to the hotel, meeting Danny Trejo, like I could remember it all from that point. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I was really fucked out. If I forgot this whole dream, I would have been super pissed. But I remembered it. And it was around 9:50-ish when I woke up from this dream. So it was around 9 o'clock when I fell asleep. I would guesstimate that it took 10, maybe 20 minutes to fall asleep. That's one thing that I struggle with still, is being aware of when I fell asleep. Like, I couldn't really give you a good guess of how long it takes me to fall asleep because I'm never aware of the moment I fall asleep. There was that one time about a month ago that I had a wild and I was actually aware of my hypnagogia in the moment I fell asleep. That is such an outlier for me. I've been trying to get better about being aware of my hypnagogia, but that's still a big struggle for me. So if I had to guess, I fell asleep probably around 9:10 to 9:20, somewhere between there. And I woke up around 9:50, so this dream was probably about a half hour long. Which makes sense, because it was at the end of my REM cycle. And I probably could have, if I wasn't so determined to remember and write this dream down, I probably could have fallen back asleep into a dream, because, when I first woke up, it was a false awakening. So I think I was still in the middle of my REM cycle. But anyway, yeah, that's about it for the dream that I had this morning. Another lucid. That's exciting. And let me know down in the comments if you had any interesting dreams this morning. Also, it doesn't really matter, but I just thought I'd mention it. My fucking pen took a shit on me while I was writing this dream. I don't know if you can see it very good. See where it gets really faded here? I had to start a new pen today. Just thought I would document that. But yeah, let me know down in the comments if you had any interesting dreams this morning. I would love to read it. And yeah, I think that's about... Oh yeah, my dream recall score. That brings my dream recall score up to 4, I believe. Yep, 4 for today. And my monthly recall score for April is also up to 4. So yeah, that's it. Let me know down in the comments if you had any interesting dreams. I would love to read it. And good night and sweet dreams.